Y'all, insane UFO news coming in as Representative Paulina Luna and Dr. Avi Loeb sit down and have a crazy conversation about ThreeI Atlas and about how it may just be releasing probes as it nears Earth, UFO probes that will appear as UAP in the night sky. It's absolute madness, and we're going to go through the article today. Now, from that same little sit-down conversation they had, we also get this clip of Representative Paulina Luna talking about how some strange things were going on with David Grusch, the whistleblower, and how it's being handled by, well, law officials. Take a look.
And just yesterday, I actually went into the skiff with David Grusch and Eric Burleson. And prior to that skiff meeting happening, there was something really bizarre that took place with David Grusch, and it's being handled at the law enforcement level. But, things like that happening are not normal, especially being that David Grusch is currently Eric Burleson's congressional staffer.
Absolute madness, and I hope he's okay. But I think it's important that this really hits a chord, because it's like, if nothing is going on, why are we attacking this man? Why is there a cover-up? I'm like, I can't even speak. I'm so shocked. Again, glad he's okay. Just hope he stays okay. Now let's jump into this crazy article about ThreeI Atlas. Things are getting wild in the skies. Okay, Manhattan-sized interstellar object ThreeI Atlas could release mini probes that hit Earth, experts warn. This is by Shane Galvin. Representative Paulina Luna and Harvard scientist Avi Loeb are calling for NASA to monitor the Manhattan-sized interstellar object ThreeI Atlas as it passes the sun on Halloween Eve to ensure it does not drop off many probes that could invade the Earth. So I think it's interesting that this is passing on Halloween Eve, which is a symbolic day for many faiths and even pagan, because it's Halloween. Like, it's just really weird coincidence. Okay, Luna, Republican of Florida, and the Ivy League astrophysicists appeared together on a podcast and called for both Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter and Jupiter's Juno probe to adjust their current courses and monitor the object that NASA has deemed a comet. Now, I find that very interesting because this comes only a few days after Dr. Avi Loeb himself said, hey, this thing actually does have a tail. They found a tail. It's like a reverse tail or opposite tail. I forget what it's called, but it's not as common, but it does have a comet tail. However, as we do more research, even as we find things that are supposed to be normal, even stranger things are found about this rock. So I think it's insane that Dr. Avi Loeb keeps switching. I feel like he doesn't know which to believe, and I think that shows that this does warrant more research and more analysis. And I love that Representative Luna is looking into it, if I could speak. If we are visited by a technological object like ThreeI Atlas, it could either visit us or release some mini probes that arrive to Earth and appear as UAP, Loeb told the Soul Foundation podcast, released Friday, referring to the technical term for UFOs. Now, that podcast and this article will be linked in the description below so that you can dive deeper if you want to look more into this. And we need to be aware of that possibility. I asked the research team to monitor the sky after October when ThreeI Atlas comes closest to the sun, just to check if there's any additional activity in the atmosphere of the Earth as a result of it releasing maybe mini probes? Such interesting wording. Luna, the chairwoman of the House of Declassification Task Force, has previously urged NASA to exert the Juno orbital space or UNO orbital spacecraft currently outside of Jupiter, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to say Juno, to seize the opportunity and monitor nearby the pathways of ThreeI Atlas. I don't know if there was like maybe an editing snafu or something here, or maybe I'm just misreading it. I feel like that's supposed to be Juno and that's supposed to be monitor. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. In the event that there is life, okay, is it not our obligation to inform the public on that? Luna asked rhetorically on the podcast. I do think, of course, yes. Very true, very good statement. I do find it interesting that Miss Luna has been jumping into more of these skiffs and briefings. She's really been diving deep, trying to get declassification and get disclosure. And I do feel like she has more information, like the way she talks. She even says, like, I know stuff that she can't say. I just find it very interesting how she speaks and the words that she uses. So yeah, take that into consideration. Luna further teased major revelations to come from Tuesday's hearing on UAPs, commonly known as UFOs. She stated that the hearing will begin to address the claims of non-human and interdimensional technology. Something we've talked about a lot here on the channel is interdimensional technology, interdimensional beings, and interdimensional travel. It's something that Representative Luna has also been mentioning a lot, and David Grusch brought up when he first came out as a whistleblower. It's crazy. We've been touching on this topic for much longer than that on the channel. I do think it's crazy that it's becoming more mainstream, and I think there is going to be a lot to come from that. We're actually going to be going to basically the president to ask if we can get the access to programs that may exist within these different agencies, Luna revealed. There's actually a large number of sightings in our area, specifically, she said, referring to the Sunshine State's 13th Congressional District. My goodness. When asked if ThreeI Atlas could be a product of non-human intelligence, Loeb pointed out that human beings are creating their own non-human intelligence, which will eventually have capabilities beyond our own, namely artificial intelligence. We are creating a form of intelligence that is superseding our cognitive abilities simply because it will have more parameters in the neural network we create. This is so true and so scary. Loeb said of AI, adding, it's like giving birth to a child that is much smarter than you are. And this is a whole different rabbit hole. We could even do a whole deep dive video on it, but this leads to talks of the singularity and like at what point in evolution do we create, like maybe we are no longer evolving in the normal sense, but do we create our evolved selves in these artificial beings? And if that's the case, who's to say another intelligent life form didn't do this billions of years ago and they're traveling the cosmos? So much to think about. But let's get through the article. If you guys want, let me know in the comments. We can we can do a whole video on that. I still have to do the Mandela effect follow-up video and the time terrorist theory, but keep this in mind. Loeb called out the scientific community for resisting an agnostic study of these strange objects, likening the urge to describe ThreeI Atlas as a comet to calling an elephant a zebra without stripes. ThreeI Atlas will pass closest to the Sun October 30th, and then will proceed to retrograde from Earth towards Jupiter, which it will pass by on March 16th, according to NASA. Again, I just find this also fascinating, and I find the wording and semantics to actually be very important. And the way in which Representative Luna chooses her words, and David Grusch as well. Avi Loeb, not so much. He just, he says what he wants. But to talk about the non-human biologics and to constantly bring up interdimensional beings, and to talk about how there could be interdimensional and extraterrestrial, and specifically saying things like non-human biologics, I feel like there's actually a lot of clues that are being given in these interviews, in these reports, and in all of these congressional hearings. And some of us are looking beyond them, but some of us are pretty keen on the words that are coming out of these people's mouths. I feel like there's already a lot that is known. We've talked about interdimensional beings, but I've also talked about artificial intelligence and the singularity before. We can make a deeper dive video, but I've talked about how could AI lead us to the point where we are these aliens, or these aliens are AI, or some form of artificial intelligence that comes from another intelligent being the way we're doing, and now they can come here and interact with our AI. It's a whole damn thing. But I find it fascinating, and I want to hear your thoughts as well. So let them be known in the comments below. Smash like, and I'll see you in the next video.